Innamorato di innamorato. Innamorato, correggi, intimo neonato, a Palermo in via Marta 9.
The key new musical element for The Dark Knight was always going to have to be the sound of the Joker. Hans and I talked about it very early on, and I would send him stills and little shots of what Heath was doing to try and give him a feel of it.
I didn't want to write a summer blockbuster, happy, indulgent score. I wanted something that was truly provocative and people could truly hate. You know, I made the conscious decision to go out there onto the edge. You know, that was the first step I took, you know, and the great thing about working with Chris is when I go, maybe I'm going a little too far off the deep end, he'll push me a little further.
He would talk to me about the nature of the sounds he was playing with, this idea of sort of razor blades on strings, this idea of tension and extraordinary tension, just mounting and mounting. The idea of the punk influence that I think he could absorb in the feel of the character, getting the feel of that into the music, without it ever becoming too punk, too rock and roll, too different from the rest of the music.
I was trying to get it down to the most minimal thing that could say exactly what I wanted to say, so that whenever you would only hear a hint, I mean, you can hear a second of this thing, and you know the Joker is, you know, lurking somewhere. Just different fragments and different ideas, and there are literally thousands of them. This is from the early experiments. You know, wherever you go, there's mayhem. You know, I was trying to throw everything away that you know, you associate with, you know, the bad guy or something like that. I was trying to come up with a really fresh approach. And then really I took the idea of anarchy, you know, somebody who has that philosophy, what that does, and that fearlessness. And I thought, what if I can define a character in one note? Actually, it's two notes that clash beautifully with each other and make it really like a taut string that gets tighter and tighter but never breaks. Ultimately, it was the cello that did it. Take your time. Poor Martin Tillman, who's the cellist. I mean, I kept torturing him. I kept getting him back into the studio. Because if it sounded like he was acting, it wasn't working. You know, he had to embody that philosophy in a funny sort of way.
This extraordinary and very quiet sound he came up with of rising tension that has a slight edgy sort of grubbiness to it, this like ragged quality. It seemed to sync very, very perfectly with what Heath was doing with the character. We went through days, weeks, whatever. I would write it out. Okay, start off, you know, very quietly, get a little bit more intense. When we were doing it, you know, I could see the focus, you know, complete focus in Martin playing that note. And you can tell from the whole body language suddenly, oh, hang on, that's the one. We're there now. So you have the lonely little cello note. And now slowly these guitars start coming in that bend it, but they don't, of course they don't sound like guitars at all. I mean, if I actually play you the guitars by themselves, I think it'll be hard
to recognize that these were guitars once upon a time. He's just playing them with a piece of metal. Now thinking about it, I think one of the keys was it had to be a very personal performance. And everything had to be very close to you. You know, it had to whisper in your ear more than scream. Because I think one of the great things about the Joker is he draws you in. You know, he keeps drawing you in into the performance. He keeps drawing you in into his world. He keeps drawing you in into his ideas.
Innamorato di innamorato. Innamorato, corredi, intimo neonato a Palermo in via Malta 9.